diddly dum, etc.
Hello and welcome to Who Corners the Corner podcast. I'm Geoff, he's Paul. How are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, I'm very good. Lots of energy today because I've had a few days off at Easter, which is always good, frankly.
That's good. What's the
Yeah.
day off?
You fool! You work 24/7, 9 days a week, do you? You should be more like me, don't you know? No, that's not true. Don't be like me at all, actually. Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, when I first went self-employed, I used to work right through Easter, and usually the fan would go away, and I'd be like, yeah. It's like 4 days that I can just get down, knuckle down, and get on with a ton of work. But now I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I didn't go self-employed to be working throughout Easter. So I went away with the fam for Easter to, the in-laws. It was good fun. It was all right. It's very chilled. It's very relaxed.
Didn't you? Yeah.
I had crap internet. And I said, why do they do it? Why do older people have rubbish internet? Oh, that'll do. I've got internet now. I've got myself a little box with Wi-Fi on it. And you go in there, as soon as you put more than 2 devices on, the whole thing just collapses into a sludge of nothing. It's ridiculous. It's not like, I don't know. It's just like 5 megabytes per second upload, people. What the hell is that about?
That's what I had.
And they wonder why it's taking 3 hours to send each other a single image from their phones. Bless them. I love them, really. I'm just kicking off. Anyway, yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm chill.
Good. So tonight we are answering burning questions.
Burning questions.
We
have a flame effect. Do that. Do a flame effect on the YouTube thing with the fire titles in fire. Burning questions.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Sounds creative, mate.
We put out a post on Blue Sky to ask people to give us their questions.
Mm-hmm.
And we had 3 we come in. So
3.5. Yeah,
amazing. So we're going to make some up ourselves. So
Geoff, I told you need to do stuff to get followers.
Well,
I don't know what we got to do, but we got to do stuff. We've got to be more active, more present, more in the moment, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, we have picked up a few new followers this week.
We have. Yeah. Thank you, people. We love you.
Yes, thank you, and to everyone who does engage, thank you. So you might have heard now. Miracle on 13th Street came out last week.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
good, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good.
I enjoyed putting that one together.
An original 13th Doctor audio drama written by and starring Katie Haynes, who plays 13 for us on our
She plays the 13th Doctor for us. Just need to pick you up on that. She doesn't play 13. She's not credited in the show as 13. Peter Capaldi isn't credited in the show as 12. It's the Doctor. Just thought I'd get one off my chest.
Okay, that's great. So
just clearing it up.
Would you like? Well, she plays more than one part in this.
She does. She plays 3 parts in total. Really, she plays the Doctor. She plays the Doctor. She also plays a human version of the Doctor called Jen, and she also narrated the whole thing as well. So you got like 3 quite distinct voices. And when I was mixing the voices together, I was thinking, this is brilliant. So, I mean, Kate, we know Katie is a good actress, right? She's done a lot of stuff for us, and she's done loads and loads of stuff on TikTok, and she just has so much energy. It's unreal. And she sent this story in, and we read it. We thought, oh, yeah, this is quite cool. This will make a nice Christmas story. It's a good Christmas theme, wasn't it?
Which we put out at Easter.
It's a good Christmas theme. But I was listening to the voice, and I suggested to her that she narrates it in her own accent, and then just does the Doctor and Jane, whatever way she felt best, and she sent like a million takes of each line. So that was all fun. So put it all together. But the energy, the way that she gets Jane and the Doctor to be quite distinctly different without changing the voice so much. It's just about the writing is brilliant because the writing what each of those characters says is of their character. And it's such a clever thing to do, and it's it's very easy for an actor to do a slightly different pitch, to do 2 versions of the same character. But when they're the same character, you can't really. That's a bit cheap, you can't do that. So it's got to be in the emotion. It's got to be in the presence within it. It's brilliant, and of course she narrated the whole thing as well.
Yeah.
stuck it all together, sent it to you for some music and effects and whatever. And yeah, it was good, wasn't it? It was all done.
And
A little bit later than Christmas, but
yeah, but life
time
happens
is
sometimes.
money, people. Oof.
But great response to it.
Yeah, thank you to everybody who's listened to that. We love you listening to our audios.
Yes. And I think we had a bit of a pickup on our older ones as well.
Yeah, we did actually. Yeah, a few people
great.
discovering the other ones, what we'd wrote and which Lucy had wrote and all our other writers.
Yeah. So we've got a couple in the pipeline, haven't we?
Yeah, we do. And I finished the script today, mate. I'm going to tell you that. Yeah,
good.
I finished one. It's only took me like 12 months to write this, but yeah.
Well, I look forward to reading that.
I'll send it to you. Yeah.
And then I can decide whether we're going to do it or not.
We're going to do it.
I dread to think how long it's going to be.
It's not long. It's not a long one, right?
It's 3 parts.
A full on. It's not. I was just teasing you with 3 parts.
It's 4.
It's not 4.
It'll be out next year.
Yeah. So, anyway, moving on.
We thought tonight we'd answer a few burning questions. So
we did.
We've had a few from online. I think you've got some, Paul. So I text you, and one of mine was, what is your favourite sonic screwdriver?
I love that one. You were serious?
Yeah. Well, I thought.
Oh right.
Because look,
God.
So you could pick.
Yeah.
Can you see that well?
No.
I'm
only listening on audio. I can't see anything.
So I'm here holding the 15th Doctor's.
Oh, that's
Sonic.
Lovely.
So that's quite nice.
That's not the 15th Doctor's Sonic.
No, sorry, the 14th Doctor's.
There you go.
I'd forgotten about him deliberately.
Just deleted from your memory.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn off this other
the
screen.
only reminder of him is this crazy-looking Sonic. Like, whose Sonic screwdriver is that?
So that's the 14th Doctor's Sonic.
Yes, it is.
I could have picked the 15th Doctor's Sonic.
You could have done.
Not that one. You're not meant to see that one. There you go. There's the 15th Doctor's. Yes, the Joy to the World audition.
Audition?
Not that one.
Not that one. Put that one away, Geoff.
I'll put that one away.
There you go.
So could be that. I wasn't too sure about this mouse-like device.
I got one somewhere.
Well, when they first revealed it, I thought, "What's that?" But actually, once I saw the replica of it, yeah, I thought it was brilliant.
It lights up. It's got lights everywhere. It's a nicely tactile thing that you can hold in your hand and pretend it's a mouse.
Yeah.
Which is why I've got to move it on my bookshelf, because when I have it on my desk next to my computer, I do sometimes pick it up and think, why isn't my mouse working?
But I actually thought it was really good. But I'm going to be honest, unsurprisingly, my favourite is this one. Mine doesn't work anymore.
Surprise, the 13th Doctor's.
But why I like this one is because the design is the most alien of all.
It looks like a Geth spaceship, I always thought. Like Mass Effect, the Geth, like the robot enemies. They have a very almost like insect ant-like kind of shape to their spaceships. Yeah. It's very reminiscent of that.
Yeah, I'll have to
let us know, listeners.
It's curved at that end, and then the sort of patterning of the steel on it. I really like it. Yeah, mine doesn't work anymore.
Change battery.
Unfortunately, I have, but it still doesn't work. So
it's quite interesting actually, because you say it's the most alien looking, and it's made out of
Sheffield spoons. Yeah.
I like this one, the old school thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Third Doctor's Sonic, which does still work. Yeah, look at that.
Mine's up there somewhere.
Tell you what, mate, I can literally walk through a minefield with this.
You could do, yeah. Perhaps we should try that and on location podcast.
You never know, There you go. So that's fun. It's your favourite Sonic.
So let us know what your favourite Sonic is.
Yeah, let us know. We're honestly on the edge of our seats.
Paul's taking the piss, but I people have their favourite Sonics.
Hey, it's all content, mate. I'm not going to argue.
All do different. Well, they all look different, don't they? Oops.
Yeah.
Let's have a question from Blue Sky.
Question from Blue Sky. Right, okay, let's go from the top. So Liam Mason, beg your pardon, Liam Neeson. we get voice, what are they called? Blue Sky posts?
I don't know, what are you talking about?
Whatever. Liam the Mason.bskysocial, who says, do you think, Paul and Geoff, actually. I just didn't say that. But do you think that the wealth of history with Doctor Who has become more of a hindrance than a help to any writers? For example, we had both Rani and Omega squashed into, at most, 2 episodes, and it was very underwhelming, in my opinion, says Liam. Yeah, it was very underwhelming in mine as well, actually.
Yeah.
What do you think, Geoff? Help or a hindrance? A good thing or a bad thing? A positive or a negative? What say you, sir?
I think that the show... Well, I was going to say recently, but it's not. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a slightly tricky one. I was going to say recently, it's relied too much on past things, but of course it didn't have Cybermen or Daleks in it. But then if you go back to the 13th Doctor's era, that relied on Cybermen, and well, didn't rely on them, but had them.
It was very heavy. There was a very strong Cyberman kind of thread.
Yes,
through a few stories, the Master and some Tarans.
Yeah. But it did it all brilliantly. But the recent series brought back, the Rani, Sutek, who are probably not quite as well known villains in the sort of general, audience, and made a hash of them. So I think it's quite tricky because the show obviously has, its iconic enemies, and people kind of expect to see them.
Can you?
You can't forget them, but I also think, by saying, well, let's bring Sutek back, there'd have been people watching, bearing in mind that first Shooty season, they're trying to push this whole new thing on a new audience, and they bring back a one-off appearance villain from 40 odd years ago, 50 years ago, and people are going to be like, well, what's this? And he's crap as well. So I think
giant dog
on a leash. I think you've got the iconics that you kind of want to see.
Yeah.
But I also, on the same side of that, I think trying to bring back the history from the show is not necessarily working for it. But it's very difficult.
Depends on the story, doesn't it? Surely.
Well, yes, I think obviously,
does that story need them to be there to make it the story that it is, or are they just kind of shoehorned in?
Well, that's the thing. I think we could have some, should have some good new, enemies, but we didn't particularly get any recently, and we've had some good stuff, over the years in New Who that don't come back again.
Space babies and the snot monster.
Yeah,
it's memorable.
Yeah, we had them. I suppose what I'm getting at is I really want Patings to happen.
You want what?
Patings.
Yeah. Which is an old monster and everything else. So so my thoughts on this, particularly with the monsters, and because there are other parts of the show which kind of contribute to that. But on the monster front, the villains, when you think back to all these great eras, that certainly people of my age kind of talk about. So we talk a lot about Tom Baker's era, right? There's been a bit of a golden age, the 1970s Doctor Who, and even Troutman and William Hartnell even. So all of the William Hartnell stories had a unique monster, pretty much bar the Daleks. That was it. The Daleks were the big ones. They returned a few times. Cybermen weren't really a thing until his final story. They appeared a lot in the Troutman stories, but again, every other monster was pretty much unique, apart from Ice Warriors and the Yeti. The Great Intelligence came up a few more times. Third Doctor saw Daleks a few times, but everything else was pretty much unique. Ice Warriors again, but only twice, really. But Tom Baker's era, certainly pretty much every story had a unique monster. The Daleks appeared twice. The Sontarans appeared twice. And I think, the Master appeared in The Deadly Assassin and then not again until right in the Doctor's final season. So there was almost like 7 or 8 years of mostly unique monsters.
Yeah, and I think
that happened to be one of the most highly regarded eras of the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should have, different, creatures like that. I think they've just got to be good. I think there seems to be a tendency to.
So the creatures have to be good, or the stories? I mean, both, really.
Well, both,
right?
really.
But could you get away one without the other? Could you have a monster that is so brilliantly realised and so terrifying, and immediately strikes a chord throughout the nation? It doesn't really matter about the story. It's just the kind of visual terror, the appearance of them, perhaps.
Yeah, I think you could, but I think one has to support the other a bit, really. You can have a good character in something and in an average, film or whatever. But I think this is quite a tricky one, really. I sort of think like, the Silents were really good until they weren't, but they were a great enemy that could have come back, I think, and been kind of expanded upon. Like,
did they appear more than once? Yeah, they did, didn't they? They were
but then they just ended up being foot soldiers.
They just
or something.
trotted out as a gallery of monsters, weren't they? I think.
Yeah, and so, maybe they could be revamped and expanded upon, like the Weeping Angels were, in Flesh and Stone and Village of the Angels and stuff, But yeah, I don't think there was anything sort of super memorable in the last couple of years. I mean, Mr. Dingaling was pretty good.
Sorry, I thought you said Mr. Dingaling was pretty good. Oh, you did say that? Oh, right. Oh, crikey.
Yeah, well, I quite liked the 2D style, but I know you didn't like
Jesus.
him.
No, I wasn't a fan.
Yeah,
people love it, and that's fine. That's good.
You got to have new things, but I think they have to kind of stand up.
Mr. Dingaling was quite nasty, actually. He was quite.
He was quite nasty. Yeah,
SOB, wasn't he?
But you shouldn't keep bringing back the old things, and if you're going to
churning them out.
Yeah, it sort of it feels a bit like a contradiction. You've got to have new stuff. Don't bring back the old stuff. But if you do bring them back, make them good and a bit different.
But then arguably, that's what they did with Omega, right? So Omega, who was this legendary Time Lord figure, first appeared in the Three Doctors in 1973, and then again in the 20th anniversary in 1983 with the Fifth Doctor, which made sense, in a slightly different costume, and took on the form of the Doctor, and then was apparently kind of killed at the end of it, who also appears in a self-titled Big Finish audio. I can't remember who wrote it, but it's a magnificent play, absolutely one of Big Finish's best, just titled Omega. So every single appearance, Omega has been a very erudite, very intelligent, almost a tragic figure. We've also got the Hand of Omega figure. This character is kind of deep rooted in ancient, present, and future Gallifreyan kind of lore. So to find them kind of reduced to a bestial form in whatever that episode was called, because it's deleted out of my memory now. What was that? I forget. Honestly, what was it called? I seriously can't remember. The final story of Shooting Out the Zero. Oh, I feel terrible now.
Reality War.
A reality war. There you go. And to see him just kind of trot out and go rah a few times and just chomp around. I don't know. I mean, if that was, see, in itself, I don't have an issue with that, because it is a tragic kind of stage in a tragic villain story for them to be reduced so much. But it didn't feel like there was any of that kind of pathos in that story at all. It was just literally, here's a monster. Could have been anything. It didn't have to be Omega. There was nothing remotely Omega about it. It didn't need to be called. It was just pointless. It was just absolutely pointless, all of that. So I think it's not a hindrance. I think, actually, this is my opinion, I think having all of that wealth of history and lore and a whole gallery of monsters to kind of choose from is quite a good thing. It gives the whole universe of Doctor Who, the Whoniverse, a kind of a sort of texture and the depth. That's what I'm looking for: depth, color, texture, all of those things. It gives it, so much breadth and scope. It's a massive, massive sandbox which you can play in, but only if you want to. You can ignore all of it. You can even contradict it if you want. And Doctor Who has contradicted itself on so many occasions. It's impossible trying to get a good thread of continuity going through it because design changes, origins change, or whatever. But what it can be is it can be built upon. Not necessarily improved, but it can, you can pick bits out of it and you can show evolutions. You could take a figure like Omega and do something with them that is quite interesting, that, throws the Doctor's character in a different light, the way they confront each other, like with the Master, for example, or Missy, really, making Missy a female character against a very angry, self-doubting version of the Doctor who wants to be a better person. It's a really nice counterpoint. Missy starts off like literally, as evil as the Master has ever been.
Yeah.
The Doctor starts that series doubting himself, doubting his intentions, doubting his own sense of morality, and does he have the right to actually judge, and make decisions? And we see that played throughout. But as he grows to become kind of self-aware and accepting of what he is and what he can do, and all the positive sides of his character, that also reflects on Mrs. character as well, and they kind of meet in the middle. And this is a dynamic that we've never had before with the Doctor and the Master, and a lot of people, I think, kind of switched onto that. So there is something where you've got a bunch of writers, mostly Stephen Moffat, playing in that sandbox, picking out something within that lore and telling those stories, and having a character arc that throws light on the Doctor, on Missy / the Master, and that whole ending in Capaldi's The World Enough and Time, the one after it, where Missy kills the Master, an early version of herself, and John Sim Master kills Missy. It's just, I love that. It's just, that couldn't happen in any other show, really. That whole, it's such a metaphor for the narcissistic quality of the Master's character, and to have Missy and John Sim kind of laughing their socks off as they realise what they've done to each other is chef's kiss. It's brilliant. Beautiful. So without that sandbox, without that history, without that lore, that story couldn't really happen. It couldn't be told in that way.
I mean,
so then it becomes a positive, right?
You're completely right. I think that the show has got this rich history of things, and it's good to sort of go back to things and have old things face a new Doctor. But like I said, you've got to do something new with it. But I also then again, on the flip side of that, you've got this huge history, and do you just continually plunder that to fan wank it off?
Geoff, you went there.
or do you know?
Wish that little
but then it's also
alert come on.
It's also
yes,
it's not then working for casual viewers and new people. And does the show, does it only pander to its existing fan base?
Very good point. Very good.
You know, so do you go, okay, well, we're only going to have Omega or Vervoids or whatever, or do we try to create striking new stuff that will stand out for people and perhaps draw them in, which Space Babies did not? It's very difficult. I the amount of grief that the showrunners get on Who seems to be probably unlike any other role out there. And when they get it right, they still get pulled to pieces. And when they get it wrong, they still get pulled to pieces. And I'd almost sort of, if someone came to me and said, "Do you want to do it?" I'd be like, "No way."
I'd do it in a shot.
I think you'd have to be really, confident in, RTD is confident in it himself, but does it bother him that he
I don't think so.
Cocked it so badly?
I maybe in his opinion he hasn't.
Maybe
that's it.
But then
he told the stories he wanted to tell. He got them out there. They're done. They're part of the whole tapestry now. And for better or worse, That's what they are. It's interesting because in the 80s, Doctor Who came under the same sort of criticisms because there was an increasing amount of nostalgia in represented by bringing back monsters that
Yeah.
we hadn't seen for years. Like, I mean, the Cybermen, when they came back in Earthshock, I said on this podcast, it was literally an electrical moment. It was exciting. And I was quite young, and a lot of people older than me obviously got that nostalgia kick. Because there's the other thing for it, right? The sense of nostalgia. Why shouldn't you dip into and pull out monsters or whatever characters that people remember fondly from their childhood that scared them when they were kids? If the kids of today, the kids of Russell T Davies's era, in sort of 30 years' time, when they're getting on a bit, sitting there with their grandkids, and the new series of Doctor Who wheels out a Slitheen for the first time in 30 years, that's going to be a moment, for better or worse. No matter what you think of the Slitheen, that's another part of it as well. Because Doctor Who does dig heavily into its nostalgia, or into the power of that to get viewers back on seats. It's why the Daleks and the Cybermen have been constantly making appearances since the year dot.
You're absolutely right. It's just, I think there can be too much nostalgia on many things. I
think it's a balance, right? I think if you tip too much into that and your whole kind of raison d'etre becomes purely about nostalgia, then you're on a one-way street to nowhere land.
Yeah. You can definitely OD on it, I think.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yes,
there was a reply to that actually. Let me just say that Bluecoat responded to that post and said it was the way they were written, and I think that's actually the key to it. To be fair, I think the story, as I said earlier, has to support the return of that monster / character, villain, whatever. It has to be. You think about Village of Angels. I mean, okay, Weeping Angels aren't the most ancient of Doctor Who. They ain't been going since 1960s, but they are very iconic. They were very iconic in a very short space of time. They're a wonderful concept, and I get the feeling that there's more to come from that concept. There's more to come from the Angels, but when you look at Village of Angels, that story, take the title out, it can't work in that way with any other Doctor Who villain.
No.
You could have certain components of that story working and have, I don't know, some other monster kind of terrorizing things, but it's the whole idea of that time shift and getting that cliffhanger as much as anything else that you love, but there's the imagery, there's the concepts of it, there's the timey-wimey stuff in it, there's the whole scare factor even of that, the fact that Yaz and whatever Yaz and Dan end up in, was it 1909 or something? That you'd have to think of some other way to kind of make that work, and it would be long and complex. But the Angels just do it by touching you. So,
it was brilliant. That's a big question.
It's a good one. Yeah, I think it can be both. It can be help.
I think
and it's got to be the skill of the writer to tell the stories in such a way that the villain matters.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a question from Supreme Human on Blue Sky. Ooh. When are you getting Jodie, Mandip, or John Bishop on the podcast?
Well, it's not through lack of trying.
Let's just say, let me tell you. Well,
we've got Chris Chibnall on. What's the matter with you? Is that good enough?
We've emailed Jodie and Mandip's agents. I think I've done John's as well a number of times, and they're very nice. They come back and they say, not at the moment, or Jodie was filming in Australia a while ago, and this isn't for.
She did an interview down there, didn't she, with some fella?
Maybe.
It was posted on recently.
Oh well, there was a so hang on. She says, well, they say it's not for her at the moment. So kind of get it somewhat. The show is finished now. And for her, but obviously then the audio's started up again.
Big finish now.
Yeah, so I tried again with all of that. Didn't get any response, and I'll be honest, we've had a lot of people from the era, so I'd like to think we're, quite decent at this Who chat, and we're quite positive, and it's not like we're just sort of approaching cold without any pedigree behind us. So I don't know whether the request ever actually reaches them.
They've probably got millions. They're very popular people. I mean, John Bishop as well. He's.
I think he was touring, and they were like,
exactly. And Jodie has been constantly in work since before, during, and after Doctor Who. I think.
So I don't think it's necessarily anything against
Mandip as well.
Us. But recently, Jodie did some stuff with various publications to promote Big Finish stuff, and I have investigated some options there, but nothing yet. So I don't know. I would love it, but
see what happens. We'll keep trying. For you, our listeners, we will do pretty much anything. That's not in the contract, by the way. There's a big disclaimer to that. There's an asterisk, see clause 10, subsection 15, paragraph 31, kind of thing. We'll do our best for you. I
will keep trying, but
we'll keep trying. Geoff's good at this sort of thing. He's got a way with people.
Natural
that's charm and bouffant hair.
How the rest of it's
actually, your hair's pretty wild today, mate. It's been in a wind tunnel backwards.
Been outdoors for a lot of the day. Mini Miku says, "What direction do you want?" Is that how you say it?
I don't know. Where is it? I would say that mini Mikwa, something like that. That's how I would say it. Let us know. Let us know how you pronounce it. Yeah.
You'll have to leave us a voice note to tell us. What direction do you want Doctor Who to take for the future?
Oh, that's a good one.
Using what the past series already established to make more stories with it, or a brand new era with the characters, supporting cast and
that's
places.
Not too different in a way to what we were saying, but how do we take all that and move it in a positive direction, I guess. So regardless of you knocking back the showrunner's position, Mr. Geoff, you've now got the job.
Yeah.
And what direction are you going to take the show? What have you been thinking of?
I would put it into development hell for 10 years to avoid having to deal with fans.
You'd have to take yourself offline. That's what it is. You have to just delete or suspend all your social media accounts and do not engage.
I don't know what I do, because the concept is it's pretty simple, isn't it? The Doctor, companion, aliens, danger. So that should, that in itself is workable. I would probably try to, I don't know whether you'd, sort of do what RTD did and kind of somewhat reboot it whilst linking back to the past. But I wonder if, hanging on to the past like that is a bit of an albatross for it. So maybe it would be a new start on it, with all the same stuff, but the
police box TARDIS,
all of that,
the Doctor, a companion,
mystery about the Doctor, but that is perhaps somewhat seeded throughout a little bit, and still bring back some older villains, but do them like it's the first meeting of the Daleks again. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you literally reboot the whole of that?
Well, I would start it, the same thing, but I wouldn't make the mistake that they did on the Buffy reboot recently, where Buffy only appears for the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, you can't call a series about somebody and not have them show.
No.
It's kind of stupid, really.
So that's perhaps what I would do. It carries it all on, but because I'm just thinking about in is it Most Wanted, the first Fugitive Doctor box set, that there's an encounter with the Daleks and she doesn't know what they are. She hasn't met them at that point, and I thought, oh wow, that's brilliant. I really liked that. So I would perhaps do something like that. where we meet classics, but it's all presented for the first time.
We meet classics. We meet classic villains,
but for the first time within this version of it all. So the Doctor doesn't know what the Daleks are.
So what? The Doctor's got amnesia or something, is it?
No, it's just a new start.
A brand new. So you'd forget everything that's happened previously. Is that's what you mean?
But there'd still be, the Doctor comes from Gallifrey. Do you see what I mean?
Mate. Oh, I don't know, mate.
It would be like
that's dangerous territory. That is. Ooh.
What else has done that? Don't know. That's what I'd do anyway. What would you do?
What do you think about that idea, listeners? I'm getting quite nervous just even contemplating that. The whole 60 odd years of history wiped out. It's still there, so you can enjoy it if you want. But here's a brand new start.
No,
is that what you mean?
It's a new start.
Yeah.
You meet the Doctor for the first time. You meet the companion for the first time. Then they meet the Daleks for the first time. So it's
the Doctor meets them for the first time.
Yeah, it's a new rendition of the Doctor, but still paying homage to the past.
So your new Doctor,
is Doctor One.
In their first encounter with the Daleks, they've never seen Daleks before.
No.
So this is brand new. So forget the fact we've had William Hartnell, Trout, and bloody blah, blah, all the rest of them.
It's gone.
None of those adventures matter. No. None of that history. None of that.
You're not going to have the companion going into a garden shed and the guy going, here's a picture of, the Doctor on the Titanic, because they would know about it.
Wow. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it.
And
I
also,
do that.
I wouldn't know what people think because I wouldn't be online, so I wouldn't care.
No, you wouldn't, and you wouldn't care. So, I'll tell you now, mate, they'd be raging. I'll give you that for a fact.
That's their problem.
And I'll be leading it. I'll be leading that charge. I'll be there waving a flag as a rallying call. What is this? How dare they ignore 60-odd years of history? Geoff, you bastards.
And then what would happen is the ratings would go through the roof. Because it wouldn't be tied to.
I'm literally shaking my head right now. I can't believe you just pissed all over my favourite show.
6.4b.
I think we just lost probably about 3 million listeners there, Geoff, in that. Right. I just needless to say, I wouldn't do that. So what I would do then is I'd set up a rival Doctor Who to Geoff's version of it, and I would just continue. You don't have to acknowledge, or when you think about Russell T Davies when he started with Rose, it was literally just the Doctor. It was told from Rose's viewpoint, which I thought was a great way of getting viewers into the story. She was just an ordinary shop girl. Why? Wait, I didn't interrupt you. Why?
But, he did. What he did there was brilliant. But it would be, the Doctor hasn't just regenerated or something, and
it didn't need to be in Rose. Even that could have been a completely different Doctor. He was a new Doctor completely.
Yeah.
When you think about it, actually, the modern series didn't really start incorporating any of that sort of stuff. It drip fed it in across
really
5
nicely.
or 6 years.
Yeah, and then it just opened the wound and let it bleed in all over the place.
Maybe. I don't know. I think. I mean. I don't know.
My idea is brilliant, so
I think your idea sucks, frankly, and I certainly wouldn't watch it. I'm going to put a poll out. We should put a poll out. Does Geoff's idea suck or rock?
Yeah,
and I think it sucks. I think it's a nice idea, but I think that sort of thing is what you can do with any other show. I think what it does, it sort of denies the history of Doctor Who by doing that. I can see why you do it, but I think anyone who did that would be killing the show straight away.
To be honest,
it's not Spider-Man, it's not an MCU series. This thing,
but it needs.
It has got a lot of weight in modern culture.
It needs to be decently freshened up. But to be honest, no one's probably listening to this point, so they don't know anyway.
Oh my God! God, you're depressing tonight. Flipping heck. Right. Okay. Let's go straight into. Well, go on then. What now? What?
No, so if you're listening, let us know. Would you watch my version?
God, mate. Honestly, I might as well just sit in a bath and do one. Right. Cheer me up, that's for sure. Right. Okay. Let's hear from Dave, who's sent us in a voice note. You ready for this? Hello, you who corner to corner, Paul and Geoff, what have you. This is David here, David Tomato Fingers.
Hi, Dave.
And look, I know you guys was like asking for questions from like Doctor Who fans, and I'm a massive Doctor Who fan. And I've got a question for you, what I saw on Twitter. It's basically this. Do you think, this is the question, like, right? Do you think that there should be more vegetables in Doctor Who? Like, you know, there have been some vegetables, but we haven't seen them for a long time. Like, I remember when I was a lad, there was some vegetable taken off some bloke. He was lying on his bed and he was like all sick over his face and everything. But since then, we've like had no representation from vegetables like either peas or like, you know, carrots and leeks and what have you, even your turnip or something. Anyways, that's my question. I hope you can answer it for us. And I really like your podcast. I think it's brilliant, and loads more people should probably listen to it. And I do think, though, that Paul is probably the best. He's definitely all right. Like, you know, Geoff's okay in mine, but Paul's definitely the one that I fancy the most when, you know, I'm listening to your podcast on the toilet and that. Anyway, thanks for my question. Hope you like it, and yeah, keep doing what you're doing, lads. It's dead good. All right, bye.
Oh,
well,
cheers,
thanks, Dave Tomato Fingers.
Oh dear! I've seen no tears coming out my eyes.
Yeah, I mean,
dear. What do you think? More vegetables in Doctor Who?
Well, what I do in my new
monster,
my reboot is the just to please Dave Tomato Fingers. The story would be that a chemical spill of alien origin has gotten into a Findus plant, Findus frozen foods.
Oh, blimey, that's a blast from the past. Findus.
And it's
Findus
gotten
crispy
into
pancakes.
Yeah, it's gotten into the veg department.
Findus crispy pancake monster.
And
that's kind of what Omega was, wasn't it?
We've got Cucumber Man, Mushroom Head, and other assorted alien
vegetable army,
vegetable things, yeah. But they'd all fart and burp and stuff as well. And then
no one would ever put that on national TV in a well-loved sci-fi show. Surely not.
And then what would happen is the Doctor would knock them into a pond of some sort of vat, boil them, and say, "I love a good vegetable soup, me."
Anyway, next question. Yeah, right. Thank you, Dave Tomato Fingers, for that.
I do hope Dave sends more voice notes. I was so pleased when that came in. I thought, excellent, someone has sent us a speak note. Oh, look, the email's familiar to me, but maybe it's just a prank.
I don't know how that happens. I really don't. It's just
I suppose when you've got
surprising.
Tomato Fingers, you can't write clearly on a keyboard.
Exactly. What? That's a name, not an affliction. Do you know the difference?
That's what happens when you listen to us too much on the.
I just felt we needed a little bit of cheering up. So, you know. Okay, here's a question that I've sourced, if you like, through the internet, through the miracle of ChatGPT. Because I know you love that even so much. The big meta question, according to ChatGPT, having scoured the fandom for anything completely non-original, is Doctor Who entering another reinvention or another hiatus? The show has survived cancellations before, but fans feel like they're at a crossroads again. Well, that's the ChatGPT. That's how it talks, all right? It uses the little voice box thing.
The show has been.
I don't even care about that question anymore, frankly.
Well, the answer is clearly a reboot beginning with a vegetable dilemma. A veg lemma.
Doctor Who, the Vegetable Wars.
Yeah, vegetable balls.
The Great Pulse Conflict. I don't know, is a pulse a vegetable?
It is. That's not a very good name. So what could you have? The Cucumber of Doom?
No, it's... Mate, that's a whole other show. That's not one for the kids, that's for sure. Cucumber doom.
He's-
You like my cucumber? It is very bad for you. Oh, don't like the cucumber.
He's gonna
I don't know if I'm
shaft
doing
you.
a Frenchy accent. That's just crazy. I don't know. Right. That's just madness. Madness lies
Madness.
there. We don't need to go there.
So, do we have any other questions?
No.
Well,
That was
Well-
it. That was yeah, we do. ChatGPT came up with more.
on,
But I
let
think
me-
we've actually done all. Oh, here's a question for you, actually, because as you know, the Daleks master plan was
Oh, yeah.
rediscovered. Episodes 1 and 3. We talked about it on our last podcast. Every other podcast has done this and got like 1 billion downloads and views on YouTube, and we didn't cover this because we were both. Well, Geoff was working at the weekend. I was away at the weekend on crap internet. So, but did you watch it, Geoff? Have you seen these episodes yet, or have you not yet had time to indulge?
No.
Oh, for Christ's sakes. Well, there you go. Brought to you by a leading Doctor Who podcast that hasn't even bothered, or at least one half of them hasn't
No.
even bothered to watch
It's
the
not that I
episodes.
have bothered. It's Easter holidays, and I've been.
I mean, they're 25 minutes long, mate.
Very busy.
25 minutes. We've been talking shit for longer than that tonight, so you could watch 3 of them in a time. It took us to crank this one out.
No, I haven't watched them yet.
Okay. There you go.
I do want to, but
Let me venture my opinion then before you dig yourself an even bigger hole by trying to find an excuse for this. I've watched them and I think they're astonishingly. They're brilliant. I love these because we've had a few episodes of the Daleks Master Plan which have been available to kind of view in isolation, but because they're not connected, right? And okay, we can read John Peel's books, which are take them or leave them for whatever. They are what they are. We've got. I think we've had it out in audio before, which is good. It's a good way of getting through it. But we've had telesnaps, but it's not the same because this is an epic story from the very early days of Doctor Who, and until we actually get the whole thing in its entirety, I don't think we can really enjoy it. But the fact that we've now got, I understand it, but the fact we've now got the first 3 episodes back to back, we can watch how the story sets itself up, and it's a nice little chunk. It's almost like a complete story in itself. It's important because we get Nicholas Courtney who plays the Brigadier. His first ever appearance in Doctor Who. Now, again, this part which he played, it was kind of space security agent Brett Vian. I remember reading about this when I was a kid, and the fact that it was played by the Brigadier and all that, it became mythical almost. And when you sort of see these things, you think, are they going to live up to that? Now that I can actually watch it.
Yeah, that's the danger of it, isn't it?
But he does, because he's Nick Courtney. It's very similar to the Brigadier, except that he starts off. He's quite antagonistic towards the Doctor. He's not necessarily a good guy. They kind of warm to each other as the story develops. And you can actually watch that development as well because we've got 3 stories back to back, the 3 episodes back to back. It's brilliant. It's given us something that we've never had. But the most striking thing for me, the thing that really, really stood out was Adrienne Hill, who played the very short-lived companion Katerina. So Katerina was a character from the previous story to the Daleks Master Plan, which was the Mythmakers, which saw the Dr. Vicky and Stephen Taylor in ancient Greece, in Troy, having lots and lots of comedic adventures. That story is completely missing. We've got a novelization of it, but Donald Cotton has kind of taken some liberties, I think, with some of the things. But until we get the story, we'll never see it. So she joins the TARDIS at the end of that story. Vicky stays behind in Troy, and this is Katerina's kind of first sort of experience on alien planets with the Doctor. And you know what? She was always kind of written off in a lot of the history books of Doctor Who as being the companion that didn't really work out. She didn't really matter. We're going to kill her off, for a bit of shock value. And they do, and it's heartbreaking. It's even more heartbreaking now because we can see her character start to open her eyes, start to experience wider horizons than what she saw, to understand that the world is so much bigger, that the universe has so much more to offer, and she wants to be a part of it. The Doctor's her mentor, her guide, but it's oh man, it's heartbreaking the fact that she died.
Mm.
You know, it always has been, but we never knew her, so it didn't really matter that much. But I feel now we really do know who Katerina is or was, and oh man, it's. Do you know what? It's really. It really kind of made me feel like here's an old bit of Doctor Who that I'm seeing for the very first time, and it was brilliant watching those episodes. Absolutely brilliant. Even one that already exists. You know, you put the three together, back to back. We've got a really nice chunk of the Daleks master plan, and I pray that more of it will turn up somewhere, somewhen, somehow.
I've seen lots of great response to it.
You need to watch this. It's literally
really
your duty as co-host of a Doctor Who podcast.
Yeah, I will watch it. When you have
it's written into the contract.
Everything that I have going on, your time is sparse. What was I going to say?
Don't know.
Yes, I think there's more out there, perhaps.
There must be.
Seems to be
out there in the void.
Yes, some hints of other stuff that's been found. Right, before we wrap up, shall we do time space visualizer?
I thought you'd never ask, Mr. Geoff. The time space visualizer. Right, what have you been watching, listening to, reading, or, I don't know, masturbating to lately? That isn't Doctor Who.
I'm going to answer all of those.
You don't have to answer all of that, frankly. Nobody needs to know.
Continued reading The Devils, which is a book by Joe Abercrombie.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about a group of weirdos who are tasked with taking a newly discovered, long-lost princess back to her rightful place on the throne, except she's a street urchin thief and not at all suited for royalty. And the group includes a ferocious werewolf, a decrepit vampire, an obnoxious magician, an elf, and a couple of people from the church that are sent over.
Sort of like Dungeons and Dragons, the Gutter edition kind of thing.
Yes, I suppose so, yeah. It's ludicrously violent, quite often laugh out loud funny in both the dialogue and the sort of semi-internal thoughts that people give and the general prose. Yeah. But all these kind of not awful people, but they're all starting to really kind of warm to me and to each other, which is quite nice. So I've been really enjoying that. And then last Friday, woke up. U2 just dropped another new EP.
Yeah, stealth dropping.
God,
they're into
honestly,
that now, aren't they?
The
2 in 1 year.
Yeah, 2 in 2
and it's
months.
Actually good U2 stuff as well,
yeah.
which is quite good.
It's
not like some of the crap they punted out lately, but it's actually quite decent.
Well, you say lately. I mean, they did
not
Atomic City. There was a one-off single for Vegas a couple of years ago. And then a bit before that, they did the Surrender albums, which was the 4 stuff of acoustic reworkings, which is really, they were really good, really nice, but kind of like, I don't really need this.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been a new album in 8 years.
No.
It's so funny. Like Against the Current just put out a new single a couple of weeks ago, and fans have been saying, "Oh, we've been waiting so long for new music. It's been 2 years since the last stuff." And I yes, I have been waiting for new Against the Current, but I was also a bit, boo hoo! Try waiting 8 years for new music. It's but these two. The Days of Ash and Easter Lily.
I think I prefer Days of Ash, if I'm really honest. But
it's a bit more rocky,
energetic.
And, the Easter Lily is energetic, but it's more joyful and sort of
lyrical.
Yeah, it's quite a bit deeper, I think.
It is nice when I think when they get poetic, they do tell some really nice stories in their music. But for me, I think U2 are at their best when they're politically angry. And Days of Ash, that first one, Obituary to America.
Yeah.
couldn't be more on point.
It's
Really,
brilliant.
you know,
And
so,
you know, all of this stuff has been recorded like 2 weeks before they put it out. You know, they're really on. I mean, they've never done anything like this. They normally spend so long working on stuff to get it perfect. So the fact that they're putting out great stuff like this with like 2 weeks' notice on it is just phenomenal. And then there'll be a whole album later this year as well.
Indeed,
what a treat!
What a treat! Yeah, American Obituary. Sorry, it's called, isn't it? Yeah, they've also got a song with Ed Sheeran on there as well. But actually, it's not too bad. It's all right.
It's a good song, and
it is a good song.
He's overshadowed by Bono, so great.
Totally, yeah. But I do like the latest one as well. I've only listened to it once, so I need to listen to it a few more times.
So it's really possibly slightly a grower, but yeah, I've been listening to it a lot. Yeah, it's great.
There you go. Nice. Me, well, bizarrely, you know, my time has been really thin. It really has, actually. I haven't had much time. And when I have had time, I've had no internet, so that hasn't been much good either. So I've had to like read books and stuff. But I finished reading a couple of books. I'm reading something else, which is one of Freya's books. It's called The Rule of One, which is quite fun. I'm actually on the second book of that now, The Rule of Many, which is the sequel. Right there. There you go. It's not a very well-known book, but it's a dystopian kind of future America in which America's kind of run by a kind of fascist authoritarian government that has surveillance everywhere, polices any kind of protest rather viciously, violently, and imposes a one-child rule on families, which doesn't really work when you have twins. So then what happens to the twin when they're taken away? So this is about, you know, a girl who is actually two girls, and they kind of swap their lives around. So they go, one does a day at school, the other one stays in the basement, and then they kind of swap round, and they have to sort of...
might have heard of this, actually.
It's good. To be fair, that's only the first chapter. The rest of that is the kind of like their secret comes out, and they get hunted across America, manage to find some rebellious people who are for them, and it just... And the second book is just opened out some of the horrors of that society and what they're fighting against. And, you know, when this was written, it's like the USA was nothing like what it is now, even. And you just sort of look at these things and go, well, you know, dystopian fiction doesn't seem that far away or that unrealistic anymore, which is kind of worrying. But you know, anyway, there you go. We'll not be political on here. But the other thing I've been doing, spending more of my time actually when I can stay awake at night, is I've been playing Star Wars Outlaws again. Yeah. The Ubisoft kind of RPG Star Wars, which took a bit of flack when it first came out, and I played it on what you call it, game thing. It's getting late at night.
Steam.
The thing where you pay monthly game on Xbox, you know what I mean.
Xbox Live.
GamesNet. It's not GamesNet. It's Xbox Live. That. Let's go with Xbox Live.
It's just worse now.
Yeah, just that. Anyway, and I played on that, and it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people said, "Oh, it's ridiculous. You know, it's a bit clunky," which it was a little bit, I guess. But it's had a lot of updates since then, and you know, they've dialed down the sensitivity on the stealth action. So, you know, there's a lot of stealth. When I first played it, it was you literally just had to twitch within 20 miles of an NPC and you'd be spotted, the alarms would go off and everyone starts shooting and lobbing grenades at you. So it's not quite as sensitive as that. You can actually creep up behind people and take them out without alerting them and stuff. So, but it's really good fun, you know. And, you know, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. So to indulge in the Star Wars universe is always great. But I'm just replaying the bits that I did when I trialed it, you know, a couple of years ago. Because what I do, I'll pay for a month subscription on Xbox Live, right? And then I'll cancel it just before the 30 days is up. So then you get a refund. But then you got like 29 days to play a whole bunch of games and test out whether you're going to pay for them when they come down to like 20, 25 quid.
Yeah.
It means you have to wait a couple of years, but whatever, you know. So I've got a backlog.
Yeah, I mean, you know, games are hugely expensive, aren't they? Yeah.
I coming in like 100 quid plus.
Yeah, I'd buy a couple a year maybe.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, the games are big enough that, you know, they go on for hours. Some of these,
well,
you spend 100 plus hours on a game. That's probably worth it. That's £1 an hour, which isn't too bad. It's more value than you get for a film, I suppose. I don't know.
You
2 hours, 30 quid.
Avatar game, I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on that. More than worth its money.
But it's a lot of money. £100. I'd never spend £100 on a game, so I usually do wait until I get down to I think $34.99 is kind of when I start considering it. And then if they go down to 24, 25 quid, if it's a really good title, then I'll get it. But if it's one that I kind of sit on the fence for a bit, I'll wait till it comes out at $12.99 or something. So it's 6-7 years out of date by then. But if it's still a good game, it's fine. Yeah, exactly.
Just before we wrap up, I just want to read a blue sky that we have from The Future is for Everyone. He's been getting stuck into our old audio dramas. And he said he just recently listened to Christmas Crime, which is one...
That's the one you wrote, isn't it?
Yeah, a little while ago.
Is it really something nice?
He said he just listened to the one with the thieving elves that didn't quite get the holiday. If I had a kid that was both a Whovian and believed in Santa, I would have played this each New Year's Eve. I thought that was really nice, so thank you for that. It's nice to hear things like that.
I like that. I like that story. Well, do you know what? If we've had was it on YouTube? Someone had written about Katie's story. If this was an episode of Doctor Who, what did they write? I should get it up, shouldn't I? Let's have a look. What did they write? Yeah, let's quote that one because that's worth quoting. And I'll tell you what, honestly, if you do enjoy Doctor Who audio dramas, and you haven't heard ours before, check them out.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not being
pretty good.
We don't
have any money to do these things, but
we have good,
great, very good writers,
great voice actors, really good, production on it. I think we really take time on it and make it sound really good. And I think we have good stories. Let me see, where was it? Let me just see if I can...
There you go. I've got it here. It's from Kenny Colliver. And Kenny says, wow, if this were a real episode of the show, it would have been declared as a new classic. We got somebody else writing, what a beautiful story written by someone who truly understood the overall theme of the 13th Doctor era. Every conquest has a price to pay, and those of the Doctor are the costly of all. Oh, here you go. Look, a word of appreciation for Katie, along with Geoff, Paul, Melissa, and Freya. Thank you for have warmed the heart of this 13 enjoyer. That's lovely. A couple of people asking us if we can put out the script. Check them out actually, because I think we've done such a wide breadth of stories already. We've got hardcore sci-fi written by me, which is probably the direction I would probably take Doctor Who in, or a little bit more of that.
With a fresh reboot.
No, it wouldn't be a fresh. Why would you do that? Anyway, we've got that. We've got Spooky Tales, TARDIS of Terror by you. We've got some really, really nice kind of mysteries, really well worked out, well written mysteries by Lucy McCall, who's written a few for us.
Yeah, sort of almost cozy crime type of stuff, isn't it?
That's a good. That's good. I hope she. Well, that's a genre in itself, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Anthony Horowitz, Andrew Cartmel, those guys. That's what they write, and it's good stuff. So, I'd love Lucy to write some more. I think, as I said,
she was working on something. If she's still listening at this point, hurry up and get it done.
Oh, and we had another little one, didn't we? Which we need to talk about off air. So, that'll be. Someone sent us in. Did that come in cold?
No, I knew about it a while ago.
You did you?
I was waiting on it. Yeah. Oh, and
but that's a nice little story.
I sent my script to a friend to possibly do the voice on it, and he said, I've got some notes for you. So I'm taking that he's read it and wants to be involved, so that'd be good. So
brilliant.
Get on that.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
And I've got a funny one for you, Geoff, as well.
Have you?
I'll send it over to you. Yeah.
Okay, I look forward to it. Right, thanks for listening, everyone. And,
yes, thank you.
For everyone who contributes, thank you. We really appreciate it, and it's been really lovely to be getting some feedback and comments and stuff this week.
You cheered Geoff up, so
please
that's good.
Do keep them coming in, and I hope Dave Tomato Fingers gets in touch again with his tomato fingers.
Actually,
I hope it touches me with his tomato fingers.
Right, on that note, arrivederci per me.
Bye.
Grazie, familia. Bye-bye.